they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Tuesday, July 9th, 2024, and this is episode 737 of the Lost Project podcast, and it's titled Wrong Number Again. I'll be chatting about my 5-year wrong number saga, a big old battery that showed up, a question to ponder, and a little bit more. Let's hang out for a minute, grab a cup of coffee, hang out for an hour, and we will see who's hanging out over in the live chat, see who's hanging out over there in the coffee crew, in the vertical feed, or over on Noster. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How we doing, Jim, over on Noster, and then right over into the YouTube feed. Thanks for showing up. Slow morning this morning. Mike's Homestead rolling in. Thanks for hanging out, Mike. Good morning to you. Hope everything is well. What's in the cup today? What do I got brewing in the cup? Finished the Opti blend yesterday. Had that Opti blend for 9 or so French presses, and it was fantastic. Brian did a really good job on that. Brian over at Food Forest Farms. Today I busted into the Brian's blend, which is the I would say probably the signature blend for Food Forest Farms. Brian being Brian Norton, head roast master and only roast master, I believe, over there making all the coffee to order for you all the time. Brian's blend, he took a long time to come up with that, and I believe he said he could put it up against anybody's in a blind taste test and hopefully come out ahead. Brian's blend is fantastic. So if you want to test out just a general all-day drinker, if you don't know what you really like, if you like light roast, dark roast, if you're just hey, I've been having Folgers since I was 7 and I don't really understand what the difference between a light roast and a dark roast is, I think a Brian's blend would be great to start you out. You can pick that up at foodforestfarms.com. You can get 10% off every day with LOTS10, LOTS10. Coupon code to get you 10% off. It's a one-time use coupon. If you use it and want to continue to order over at Food Forest Farms, you like the coffee, which I know you will, you can use LOTS5, LOTS5, LOTS5 for 5% off every day, all day, forever. Good morning, Avax, over on the vertical feed, and I don't know what a Kendrick or a Drake is, so I'm not sure. I prefer shooting Drake ducks over hens for sure, but yeah. Anyway, over at Food Forest Farms, you can find all sorts of coffee. You can join the coffee club, the C4 Club. It's coffee and so much more. Great discounts on coffee. You can find it all again at foodforestfarms.com. Just me, Mac. Trump or Biden for president. I could give two flying fucks because it doesn't matter. If you really want to know. So I guess it's Q&A day in the vertical feed. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it. Hit the like and the subscribe while you're there, just for the shits and giggles of it. So today I wanted to talk about. Start off with, I've been getting calls. It's gotta be 5 years now. It's gotta be the Warrior's got a big long stinky log hanging from his hole. That's fantastic. You should pinch that off and get back to work, my man. So I've been getting these phone calls for. It's got to be 5 years. So I was trying to think back about when the first time I would have gotten these phone calls was. It had to be 5 years ago. I know it was. I recall starting to get them and wondering what was going on. What's going on, Maple Syrup? What's your question? You can ask it. I might answer it. I might not. So someone gave my phone number, or on purpose or on purpose or it was accidentally put in the system wrong. They wrote it down wrong. I'm guessing they just wrote down a scam number just for the length of this thing going on. But one day I randomly get a call looking for this dude named Christopher. Good morning, Hunter. Thanks for stopping over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Psycho Mikey. I don't really need to shave. No, I'm good. So I get a phone call and they're looking for this dude named Christopher. And they're like, "Hey, is Christopher there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, got the wrong number, man. No Christopher here." "Okay, thank you." And it just sounded like a friend calling, you know. It just sounded like a wrong number. Maybe they dialed wrong, whatever. And then a couple days later, I get another call from a different number, and this one's a female. And she's like, is Christopher there? She uses his last name this time, and I'm like, no, he's not. He's not. You got the wrong number. I don't know what his number is. I don't know this gentleman that you keep calling me about. And so this goes on for a little while, and it was random. Every couple days it would happen, and then it wouldn't happen for like a week or two, and then it would happen for a couple more days in a row. And I started to get the suspicion that these weren't pleasure calls. These weren't buddies trying to get a hold of them or anything. And so I just rolled with it. Every time they would call, I'd say, "No, it's wrong number. No, it's wrong number." I'd let it go to the voicemail, and they wouldn't leave a message. And so I was like going on and on. And so this went on for a couple months, and then the calls started for the same dude. But it was collection agencies. So they would call, and they would be very generic general messages that they would leave on the voicemail. Or if I picked it up, it was an automated answering service that would give me some stupid nondescript company name and ask for the guy and this and that. And so I was fielding these calls, and it was always like, "Press 1 for a live representative." And so I just hang up. And then as I had my service tech job, and I was driving for hours on end, I would get lucky enough to get one of these calls, and I'd have my phone hooked up to the Bluetooth speaker in my work van. And so I'd answer it, and then I'd hit 1, and I would continue to, I would spend like a good 45 minutes to an hour on the phone with these people, arguing with them that I wasn't who they were looking for. Good morning, Jessica. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Hit the like and the subscribe over there if you wouldn't mind. And so I would have conversations with these people and be like, "Yeah, this isn't Christopher Giardino. I will guarantee you it is not." And they would go round and round and round with me, telling me that this is the number to reach him. And I'm like, well, somebody gave you the wrong number, or there are mistakes that are made, and people do lie. And they're probably assuming the same thing to me, that they were calling me, but I wasn't who they wanted. And so I have like hours vested in these people. And so finally, I would be like, "Hey, can you just change it in your notes?" And so the calls would stop for a little while, and I assume whatever this dude did, I assume he owes money or something. I have to assume they're collection agencies from just the conversations I've had with these. Thanks, Jessica. I appreciate it. I appreciate you liking and subscribing. Thanks for stopping for sure. And so this goes on and on and on. Like I said, for 5 years, I've had all these companies calling me. And some were nicer than others. Some companies, and I assume that his debt's being bought and sold. Because it will happen, and I'll finally lose my shit after tons of messages, tons of talking to people, answering. And I can't block the number because it comes from different numbers. Even when it's within the same company, it's always coming from different numbers. I can't really block the number. It's just an annoyance. And so eventually I get mad and I answer, or I call them back, or I talk to them and tell them, I am not the dude you're looking for. Could you please take my number off your fucking list? And for after a while, eventually they will. Eventually. It's usually 2 or 3 requests. So had been a while. We were here in Tennessee. It was would have been last summer when we got back from doing our residency trip. Between that and SRF, I remember going and getting a call and getting a message for this dude, Christopher. If I ever meet Christopher, I'm gonna be like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? You're not wrong. Says I like prostate massages. There's a clip for you. There's a clip for you. I've heard it's actually very pleasurable. Thanks for stopping. If you did that like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And so they kept leaving these messages for this dude, and finally I called him back, and I'm like, I'm fucking done with my phone ringing all the time. And these guys are good because they don't come up as potential spam. I don't know what number routers or whatever they use. They don't come up on my phone as flag spam. And so I called them back, and I'm like, listen, you guys are constantly calling me. You guys are constantly calling me to and this is the wrong number. You need to take me off your phone list. And the lady gave me attitude, and I'm like, well, you know what? I can play your fucking game too. And I continued to call. I just hit redial, and I called, and every single time I talked to them, they answer the phone, and I would ask, and I would say, this is Christopher Giordano, I'd like to talk to somebody. And they're like, no, it's not. And I was like, well, fuck you. If you know it's not, take my number off your list. And I have to look back, but I imagine it was over 20, and I'm pretty sure it was over 30 times I called these people back standing out in the yard. Just every time I would berate them and tell them that if they don't stop calling me, I'm going to sue them. If they don't stop calling me, I don't know what I was going to do. I was irate. And finally, they stopped calling. And for a long time, I haven't gotten a call. Well, yesterday, what's up, Harry? How we doing? Yesterday, I get, or 2 days ago, 3 days ago, it was 3 days ago, I got the first message. I get a message, random call. Number I didn't recognize, but it was from Minnesota, so there's that. And the message was kind of cut off, and that's a first sign. When they don't say a name, it's kind of cut off in the middle. You can tell it's an automated person. And so Jim says, how much was the debt? Might be easier to just pay it. They haven't told me. And I'm not sure, and like for 100% sure, I'm not sure that it's actually a debt, but just from the conversations, they haven't actually ever asked me to give them any information. Like I insist that I'm not the dude, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, the other day I get this message, and it was like something about, we've been trying to reach you, and it's gotten to the point we're going to serve you papers at your home address or your place of employment, this and that, blah blah blah. We might be able to rectify this. And I'm like, I had a funny suspicion that it was this same thing, the same company, or looking for the same guy. But it had been a while since I got a call. And, you know, I've done business stuff. I've done all sorts of stuff in Minnesota, and who the fuck knows? Maybe somebody's suing me. Wouldn't be shocked. Don't expect it. Like, I'm not expecting it or anything, but, you know, sue happy people. I ran a farm. I interacted with a lot of people. There's just a lot of things that could happen. And so I was like, and it was, so I didn't call back. I landed on just ignore it for a little bit. And thanks, Jessica, for like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Um, so I ignored it. Then yesterday, I'm leaving the property, and I get cell phone signal, and up pops a voicemail, and it was the same voicemail. It was the same voicemail, and I was like, huh, different number, Minnesota number again. And this message is the same as the other one. It was almost the exact same, and it said you can call our legal department back at blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's do this. Let's see. Let me call this back just to verify that I'm not. This isn't for me, because you never know. And what's it hurt to call? So I grab the number, I call it back, and it was just like a generic, thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. Please hold for a representative or something. And I'm like, okay. It was like 3 or 4 minutes at least. I'm standing there outside on hold, waiting. Finally, somebody picks up, and I was like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, how can we help you? And I was like, well, you called me. And so you left me a message. I'm just calling you back to see. And I imagine they don't get too many callbacks from the people that they're trying to track down. Because she sounded kind of shocked. I was like, you called me and left a message. I'm just calling back to see what it's all about. It was very nondescript and this and that. And so she says, well, is this Christopher Giardino? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. It's not. I said, you assholes have been calling me for 5 years or more, and you can't figure out that I have the wrong number. Now, I understand that they buy and sell the debt file and the fact that the number's tied to it. Every time it gets to a new company, it starts again. I understand that, but I don't really care. I'm so over it at this point. And so I tear into this lady a little bit, and she's like, oh my God, sister, I'm so sorry. I was like, well, it just gets a little aggravating. For the last 5 years, I've been having to deal with all this guy's collection calls and whatnot. And she's like, oh, I will update our system. I will get your number taken out of it. I appreciate you calling back. She's like, obviously calling back shows me that it's not you. And I'm like, well, there's a hell of a thing, guys. If you get a collections agency after you, just call them back. Actually call them back and say it's not you. They'll get them off your back. Hey, Stella over on the vertical feed. Hello from Germany. Which country do you stream? I stream from the United States of America. I have listeners from Germany. I appreciate you tuning in. Maybe you should hit that like and subscribe and hang out for a little while. Hey, Jamie, Off-Grid Ping. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you're doing well this morning. So anyway, the lady's like, yeah, I'll get that taken care of. I'll update our records, no problem. This and that. She goes, you have a wonderful day. And she was really pleasant, even after I was kind of a dick to her. But I can't do it anymore. And so I was like, okay, verified that no one's suing me at this very moment. Maybe today will be the day. But it wasn't for me, and that was my concern, was that I was just going to ignore it, and then some shit would go sideways and this and that. So I'm like, okay, good to do. Going about my business, getting ready to take the dogs for a walk, and all of a sudden my phone rings. I look down and I'm like, I don't know that number. I don't know, different Minnesota area code. Son of a bitch, they left the same number or the same message. It was the same company looking for the same dude. And I looked at Corey and I was like, what the fuck? The lady told me they wouldn't call anymore. And like 2 hours later, so they were ramping up their efforts on me. And she's like, well, give it a day. Maybe it'll take a day for their system to update, your number to get taken out. It's probably in the auto dialer and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know what if that's going to happen or not. I didn't get another call yesterday, but I'll be interested to see if I get any more. It'll be fun. It'll get fun because I just have to have fun with it until they break. I have to shift my mindset, and instead of getting super pissed off, I just have to have fun with it. But it's just an aggravation and an annoyance when it just keeps happening. Just keeps happening. Hunter says, I asked one guy where they got the number from, couldn't tell me, so I asked why they thought I would lie if they didn't know their own source. Right, for sure. Stella says in northern Germany, it is now plus 30 degrees Celsius. I don't do those Celsius units. We do Fahrenheit here in the US of A's. So that's been an interesting ongoing saga with this dude. I really kind of want to meet him. I want to find out, like Jim says, how much this dude actually owes that they've been going after him for this long. At some point, they obviously haven't gotten a hold of him. They haven't gotten a hold of him. So at what point do they stop? At what point do they give up? Or do they ever? Will they be calling me for the rest of my life and beyond? The next person that gets my number, will they be getting calls for this dude trying to collect or get a hold of him or whatever the hell they want to do? Or at some point, will this be over? Hunter says, plus 30, it's been 30C in the States for months. She's in northern Germany, dude. That's like the Arctic Circle or someplace. Doesn't Germany go way the fuck up into the Black Sea? Like there was a trivia question at one point about northern Germany, and I was shocked how far north it went. Sorry guys, I'm pulling it up here. I'm curious how far north it went on the globe. Baltic Sea and North Sea. I guess it's not that far north. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that equates to. Jim says it's going to be forever. I'm the last known good contact. Good. Last known good contact. last known contact that will answer the phone. Yeah, Christopher Giordano, if you're listening, if you're out there, if anybody knows Christopher, please let me know. Hunter says it's been 34 for at least a month. It's wearing on me. My apologies. Why are you using these weird? Why are you using these weird measurement units, Hunter? You've been hanging out in the Toolman's group too long. Do you use centigrade in your profession? Or do you roll with Fahrenheit, the standard for the country you work in? Oh, you use Fahrenheit, so you just know it. Does Mexico use Celsius? Is the United States the only country that uses Fahrenheit and imperial measurement? I don't know. I mean, it was a serious question. I don't really care either way. It's just fun to bust on the Canadians about it. But I don't even know. Does Mexico use metric and Celsius? Hunter says damn near everywhere uses Celsius. I mean, maybe because it makes sense. Maybe because Celsius makes sense and metric makes sense. I mean, the imperial measurement system is about as retarded as the English language. So there we got that. Retarded is meaning recessed and slowed down, not detrimental towards someone with special needs. I would never do that. Oh, anyway, so that's what I've been going through with these phone calls for a long time. I used to have very long conversations with these people. See, the telemarketers and the scammers that used to call me really, I don't know if they enjoyed it or if they were aggravated by it. But when they would call me when I was in my service van and I had a long drive to go, I would answer. And I would talk to these guys for a long time, whether it was the collection agencies from Christopher Giordano, or if we if I would get them for like people looking for donations, or my favorite was when the state police would call me to donate to the state police or the sheriffs. The conversations I had with those gentlemen, I wish I had them recorded. They probably do. They probably have to record all that shit for records or something. But yeah, I had some interesting conversations with those guys begging me for money for the cops. Off-grid ping, I think if not the only, very few use Imperial. Well, I'm sure the Imperial government of Britain, the Queen and the King, well, the King now, has he kicked the bucket yet? By the way, did that new King, did he die? I'm sure they insist on using the Imperial measurement system. Good morning, Pickle Pete. How we doing? Having some Brian's blend this morning. Thanks for roasting that up. It was so fresh that it overflowed my French press this morning. Here's to you. Here's to you. You would think that overflowing the French press would be a bad thing. I realized that it's because the coffee's so goddamn fresh that it's off-gassing more than can bubble out of the screen and the spout. So, bravo, sir. Freshness matters. Freshness matters for sure. Anyway, so that was Christopher Giordano. Let's see what else is on the list here. Oh, I got a big battery yesterday. You can ask Jamie. That heavy ass thing showed up. So I talked to you guys a while back. I got this this solar generator is the damn thing they call it. I can't bring myself to use the term in a serious manner because it's not a. If any part of the system would be considered a solar generator, I would call it can't. The sun is a solar generator. Good morning, John Palmer. Thanks for stopping. I appreciate it. The sun is a solar generator. A solar panel isn't even a solar generator. It's a solar converter. And what they call a solar generator is a fucking battery bank. So, battery bank. Otis Technology ad. Interesting. The elevator people? Huh. What are they advertising on YouTube for? You looking for new jobs or something, John? You've been searching? Have you been searching Indeed and it got tied up with your YouTube or something? I don't know. Anyway, so All Power sent me out the battery bank and solar panel combo. So they sent out the R600 before, which was a 600 watt, 300 or 299 watt hour battery, 600 watt, 600 watt peak or running amps and or running watts, and it peaked up at like 900, I believe. Small. It was tiny. It was something that you would carry around, maybe to back up a laptop. 600 watts and a smaller battery isn't a ton. And with a 100-watt panel, it cooked pretty good. I used it for charging the batteries for the DeWalt chainsaw. I've used it to charge my phone. Few other things here and there. I've used another 100-watt panel that I got in the mail from a company and put them in line there, and was pulling, charging in like 160 watts. So it worked well, but it was small. I don't think it would have lasted overnight with many items. We talked about it on the show when I was talking about it, and using it as a UPS, even for like a CPAP. I don't think you would have had enough time unless the power went out close to the morning, or it came back on relatively short. I think this would be probably to smooth out small power fluctuations or that. And, handy to have, but it is what it is. It's small. It's small, and it was relatively affordable too. Well, the company was happy with the video I made, and I kept talking to them, and I said, hey, I'd be interested in doing something a little bigger. And they sent out a Bad Mama Jamma. I haven't tested it out yet. I just actually took it out of the box yesterday. Reading the reviews, there's a lot of 5 and 4-star reviews, and then there's a couple 1 and 2-star. Handful of them that I don't know if they got defective products. I don't know if they got different technology, like if they were evolving as they were selling, what the deal was. But some people have had them randomly just die. Others got damaged in the mail, and I don't know if that's really their fault because their packaging was phenomenal. And some other people have had a couple of issues, but man, they sent this R2500 out to me. This thing is like 65 pounds. It's big. It's not huge. It's easy to pick up. I mean, other than the weight, like it's not enormously long or bulky or anything like that. It's got handles on it, but it's a hefty little battery bank. 2,500 running watts, 4,000 watt surge. I've seen 2 conflicting numbers on the watt hours on it. So the battery storage, I've seen both just over 2,016 watt hours for the battery, and then another place in the listing I was checking it out, and it says it has where was the other one? Only like 1,800 watt hours. Sorry guys, I'm 1,500 watt hour battery, and the other one says, and the other part of the listing says the other says 2,000. So significant difference in the listing, and I'm not sure which one it is. I'll have to do some testing to figure it out, or clarify with company, or look in the directions or the specs on it. But it's really cool. It seems pretty cool. It's got a 30 amp RV plug. It came with a 200 watt flexible solar panel, similar to the 100 watt flexible one I did a video on a little while back. But I think it's going to be an interesting battery bank. I think it's going to be fantastic to have it and move it out into Tim's cabin right now for some portable power, for people that come out and stay, or when we go out to stay the weekend. I think that'll run a lot of stuff for a weekend. And then Hunter says, I hate how they're always trying to make it sound better. Yeah, for sure. It is what it is, and that's the thing. It is what it is, and you can't change that. You can't change it. I don't know how they would get 2 different numbers in the listing unless somebody just mistyped what it is. But anyway, I'm excited to play around with that. I think with the solar panel that John Palmer says peak for AC and peak for DC. That was the battery storage, the battery capacity, watt hours. It says in the listing 2,500 watts, 2,016 watt hours, LiFePO. And then lower down further in the listing, it says 1,500. I lost it again. I don't know. I lost it. I'll have to dig in and figure it out why it's listed different. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to use it. it's bulky enough to have that 30 amp RV plug on it. I think you could probably, if you were boondocking and you had your solar panels set up, again, you can use string multiple together. Right now, I have 400 watts of these portable panels. Hunter says, yes, the battery might be 24,000, but if you can only drain it halfway, then it's only 12. The LifePos you can take down all the way. LifePo batteries you can take down to all the way, 5%, 10%. They actually, the chemistry works better with full cycle. Like full to empty, full to empty, full to empty, because it goes, the cycles, the battery life goes on cycles, and the deeper the cycle, the more power you're actually getting in the long run out of the battery, the more battery storage. He says, really, that's awesome. Yeah, lead acid's 50%. LifePos, the lithium iron phosphate batteries, you can take down. I think they don't suggest much more than 20%. So 80% discharge, 20% remaining. But from what I understand, and when I was doing the research, and then this was, back when I was speccing out our solar system, people drain them. People have drained them and not had issue recharging them. So yeah, that's the benefit of spending the extra money on the lithium, is that if you buy 1,000 watts, you get, say you buy 1,000 watt hour battery. I'm used to dealing in amp hour batteries, but say you buy 1,000 watt hour battery, you get 800, 900 watt hours with the lithium ion, or the lithium iron phosphate. If you buy the lead acid and you buy 1,000 watt hours, you only get a maximum of 500. So even though the lithium are more expensive, you actually get more storage for what you get. And also size, weight. That was a consideration with our system, was we didn't have a lot of room or weight capacity to run a ton of lead acid batteries. So we went with 2 large lithium batteries, and they were very expensive. They've come way down in price since we bought them, but that was a consideration when we were buying ours. John Palmer, I'm not sure what that. I must have missed that comment. I'm not sure where it fit in. I'm sorry. So yeah, I get to test this thing out. I'm excited to play with it. I'm excited to see how well it works. John says that would be 20% roughly between those numbers. Okay, and then the battery life and the cycles and everything else is longer with the lithium. So yeah, that thing coming in the mail is nice. I like the smaller one. The product seems good. It seems intuitive to use. I'll see on this bigger one. It does. This one has Bluetooth. Jim says weight is an issue also. Yeah. When you have to have 2 batteries, or one and a half batteries, or whatever the calculation comes out to be, to cover the same and weight. I'm not sure on the weight, the total weight, because the lithium batteries are heavy. I'm not saying that isn't the fact. My issue was more square footage, where I could place them. Footprint, yeah, that's Jim says footprint too. That was my issue. I haven't done a weight comparison between, like, an actual 1,000 amp hour of storage of lithium batteries versus so it would be whatever. Okay, 800 amp hours. Oh, John Palmer says, I mean, between the two numbers you said they gave. Yeah. So maybe that would be, 20% difference. Maybe that's the usable watt hours, John. Thanks for just throwing that out there. That could be the usable watt hours compared to what the battery stamp is. They could easily legitimately say this is a 2016 watt hour battery because that's what's stamped on the label, and then in the listing give the 80% that it cuts off at. Maybe once it discharges to 20, it shuts it down. Just very, very distinct possibility. Very, very distinct possibility now that you say that. Yeah, so I'm excited. This one's got Bluetooth. It's got a Bluetooth app. People say that it's a little wonky if you get too far away while using the app while you're connected. So if you leave it open, it'll freeze up. You got to restart it and reconnect it. But that could be pretty convenient. I think. Instead of having to go over and look at the display, you can just pop it up on your phone. So I'll be interested to play with this thing and make some videos. I'll probably make a ton of videos on it. The link for the setup is down in the video description and the audio description. I can throw it in the comments here if anybody wants to take a peek at it. Right, copy and paste. So that was cool. That showed up yesterday. I don't think this is going to be one I would be taking to the beach. I don't think it's something that I would be hauling around with me. Maybe to a festival if you were set up. Definitely in a camper as a UPS in your house. A little off-grid supplement, maybe out in a shed to power some stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of uses for it, but at 65 pounds, it's a lot to haul around. And try to deal with. So I can, it's all about having the right tool for the job. So I don't think this isn't necessarily a super portable, although it is portable. If you don't mind hauling around 65 pounds, it's perfectly fine. So we'll dig into that and then see how efficient this solar panel is and put this thing through its motions. So I'm excited to do that. What else is on the list? Oh, this is from yesterday. Didn't get to it yesterday, but I was on Facebook scrolling down to look for my posts the other day, and my friend Matt, he's a community guy, the Agris tax advisor. Matt posted, he forwarded or reposted or shared or whatever somebody else's post, and I didn't grab the guy's name that was the original poster, but I read it, and as much as I am checked out of the presidential shit with Biden and Trump and all the stuff, it's still omnipresent everywhere. Unless you shut off all electronic media and go sit in the woods and don't read the newspaper or anything, which sounds fantastic, but just doing what I do, it's not a feasible thing. So I'm aware of what's going on with Trump and with Biden and with Biden's mental health and blah, 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 and the whole thing. So I'm reading these posts, and Matt shared a quote from a guy, and I read it, and I just kind of chuckled, and I said, how do these people not think like this? Because this is kind of what I've thought since the first time the Sniffy Joe got elected. But the quote to quote the guy, I don't think it's a quote from anybody other than him, but he says, "What's the level of dementia that achieves the most perfect balance between, quote, should step down as a candidate in 2024 and, quote, can continue to be president for the next 6 months. So when do you pull the plug on the dude? So you're starting to admit all his adamant supporters, and oh, he's fine, he's totally lucid, he's not he doesn't have dementia, he isn't fucking out of his mind, he isn't talking to people that aren't there, he isn't trying to shake people's hands, he's not getting lost and shitting his pants and falling off bikes and all the things that our president probably shouldn't be doing. When you're the leader of this nation and you're the public face of the leader of this nation, where's Marcus Aurelius when you need him? You probably shouldn't be doing this shit. And I know he can't help it. I mean, I do believe that this is a blatant case of elder abuse. Like, it has to be. Like, how has his wife and the people, this handlers, not been charged with elder abuse for trotting this son of a bitch out there? Not that he's not to blame. He's had a lifelong track record of just being a cockwaffle in Congress and whatnot. He was totally lucid for the majority of it just recently. So I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be abused or like whatever. It is what it is. But how is this not considered elder abuse? But the question that's coming up now is, now that they're admitting it, Hunter says abuse, definitely taken advantage of. Well, what? Apples and oranges? What's that illegal extortion? Are they extorting him? They're lying. They're putting him out there. They're probably putting him out there without his consent. I don't think, like, he can't sign a contract in this state of mind, can he? Like, if you or I were in the same mental capacity as Joe Biden, would we be legally able and bound to a contract we signed? Hunter is a Biden apologist. And I don't blame him for falling off the bicycle. I hate those toe protector things. You love him. Hunter's probably got 3 or 4 Biden signs in his front yard. But anyway, with the he says no, but fair is fair. Yeah, I mean, both sides are fucked, dude. But the question that was posed by this guy is, so you got a group of people who are starting to admit that, yeah, this he might not be mentally capable of being the candidate this year, like in November. But it's okay if he just rides this out. I try to wrap my head around the mental gymnastics that people have to go through that say, well, we're looking at him and we really just don't know if he can be the candidate. I don't know. But he's okay for now. Like, where is that disconnect? We've talked about it a long time. Like, how are these two 70-year-old, 80-year-old, 60-year-old, whatever, how are they the cream of the crop? I know Trump says he's in the best shape of his life and he can play golf real good. Hunter says, or this just shows everybody how much the president doesn't control things. I mean, I have to believe, or I want to believe, that when leaders of Pickle P says Dead Man Walking, Jill is the monster puppeteer. She might be the puppeteer, but I think the orchestrator might be someone else. I saw an intriguing article, and I lost the link. It was on my phone, and it was gone when I hit back. It usually saves in my history, but I don't know. It went through Facebook or something, and it got all jumbled up, and I can't find it again. But it was a really compelling argument that BHO is still pulling the strings. Maybe, I don't know. If you don't know who BHO is, pre-Trump BHO, you can figure it out. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, yeah, Jill is trying him out there. She's changing his drawers. I know she's probably got helpers that change his pants for him when he shits his pants. But yeah. Jim says politics are like sports for me. I know it's out there, but really, really don't care anymore. But when somebody makes a boneheaded play or the biggest disaster or does something stupid and it's broadcast over the internet, you gotta chuckle at it, right? Even with sports, even if you don't care. And that's kind of where I'm at. I observe it. I know it's there. It's going on. And I just like to laugh and chuckle at the funny bloopers and gaffes, and ponder the shit that's like, how do we get to a point where like the guy said, what's the balance, the amount of dementia that it's okay to keep being president for the next 6 months, but we're not going to let him run after that. I don't get it. I didn't get it when they put him out there the first time, let alone after 4 years of the stress of being the president. I can't imagine that job is any fun at all. It just got to be a nightmare. I don't want it. Joe Biden can have it. I don't want it. Trump can have it. So that was an interesting question to ponder. Like, where is that line that you draw where you got to get rid of the guy? Or do you just ride it out and hope he doesn't do anything too stupid? Or another leader, do they have the red phone still? The Cold War red phone in the Oval Office that like the Russians can pick up their red phone and it rings directly to the red phone in the White House. Is that thing still around? Can you imagine Biden sitting behind the desk? He's like coloring and sipping on a soda, and he's just having a good old time because he has no idea where he fucking is. And this red phone rings and he picks it up and he's like, "Hello? Who's there? Hello? Can you give me some ice cream?" Like, what the fuck? People are like running into the room to grab the phone out of his hand. Putin's on the other end. Who was that? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. What can we do for you, Vladimir? Hunter says I would prank Russia all the time. Order Starbucks and an Uber. Putin! Vladimir! What are you doing? Oh man, what a fucking shit show. Article I saw on Facebook last night. I was checking my stats. This one caught my eye. You know you're in America. You know you're in America when they started now Jim says, Joe, stop calling Brian. He doesn't owe you money. Right. Next time these people call him, it's a guy who's like, Joe, is that you? Joe. The day I kept calling him back and telling them I was the guy, and they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, then stop calling me. That was a fun day. They were really mad. They were really mad. They would do the pick up and hang up because they knew my number obviously was there. I wasn't blocking it. It was on their caller ID that they would just pick up and hang up. Sir, stop calling us. I was like, now you know how it feels. So you know you're in America. I see the headline: ammo vending machines installed in Oklahoma and Alabama grocery stores. You now can get your ammo, and looking through it, it's handgun, shotgun, rifle, variety of ammo, straight out of a vending machine, 24/7 at a few different grocery stores in Oklahoma and Alabama. Why not? Why not? Put that fucking shit on the list. I'll get it. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. Put some ammo. Hey, need some 40 caliber with your ice cream? Like, what could go wrong? What could go wrong with an ammo vending machine? And why are we needing to vend ammo 24/7? Hunter says DCA on everything. Yeah, so that's going to be my. It'll be like the fold roundup, where you can round up for supporting charity or whatever when you're at Walmart. Would you like to round up to the nearest dollar for the children's hospital? No, thank you. Fold has the option where if you spend like $1.71, you get 29 cents towards Bitcoin. It rounds up to the nearest dollar, or you can set options where you can do double, triple, 5 times, whatever your change is. Maybe you just start the DCAing ammo. So you buy your groceries. You're like, oh, I gotta round up to the nearest fiver and pick up some ammo. So you walk over and you feed your money into the machine and you take your 3 bullets. Like, what? Mike Thompson says, why not? Sounds like freedom to me. I mean, sure, whatever. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but I'm just wondering. I'm wondering who goes to the grocery store to buy ammo. Jim makes a good point. They better bolt those machines down good. Yeah, I can't imagine that there isn't somebody eyeballing those things. The rub on these, it looks like they use the TSA license and facial recognition scanning software. So basically, you scan your driver's license because they've set the purchase limit at 21. The company representative said that they picked 21 because there's varying ages state to state, and they just want a blanket cover and be able to put their shit everywhere and not worry about it. But they scan your license and then they scan your face and they run them through facial recognition that the TSA uses to verify your age. And then you can buy just a wide variety of ammo. Like, I can't think of the scenario where I was like, I need a gallon of milk, some Pop-Tarts. John Palmer says, at least you don't have to deal with the stupid cashier. Bulkammo.com, guys. Like, you guys know that for a long time you've been able to get discount bulk ammo through the mail, right? Mike Homestead says that's like saying who goes to the bait shop for a car. Nobody, since they don't sell them. I don't know. I would expect this fully. I would expect this fully uh, from the grocery store we used to go to in Minnesota. So we had a small local grocery chain in our area, and one of the stores was like 10 minutes from us. It was a small store, and you'd be walking through it. And the one day I look up, and they were selling kayaks. They sold T-shirts. They sold all sorts of random shit at this store. But the one day I'm walking through, and there's a kayak on the top of the aisle with a big price sign hanging from it, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be going to the grocery store to buy a kayak. Like, I don't know if that's something that I'd be like, yeah, I got my bread, my milk, my potato chips, a 2 liter soda, and oh yeah, can you grab me that kayak? Or he says, "What are you talking about? I bought clothes there all the time." Yeah, she did. She did her clothes shopping there, which is, I mean, that's appropriate. That's an appropriate sized item to throw in the cart along with your groceries. But who's rolling through there going, I need a kayak? I mean, they were right on the lake, one of the biggest lakes in Minnesota. Mike's Homestead says it's capitalism. I mean, you do you. I would expect them to be more at the hardware store across the street. But, why not? Why not? Throw it on the top of the bread aisle. Pickle Pieces crab season. Get bait and your boat and a trap. One-stop shop. They didn't have traps or crabs in that neck of the woods. John Palmer says, how many different things does Walmart have? Well, I guess they are. They're starting small. They're starting small. They're starting small with a kayak and some T-shirts, and as soon Teal's grocery store expands to be the next Walmart, adding one random product at a time. Jim says if Tractor Supply sold produce, that would save me a stop. What is the fallout from the whole Tractor Supply woke and then rolling it back? Anybody been keeping up on that? I didn't. I saw people losing their mind over Tractor Supply going woke, and then like 2 days later they rolled it back and said we won't ever do any of that. Whatever. Why'd you do it in the first place? Why is it any of your business as a business to support these causes? John Palmer says Walmart started as a small grocery store, and we all wish they had stayed that way. One last thing before we wrap up. And so in that article, and obviously a lot of other places, Jim says someone talking shit about Tractor Supply. You didn't hear the whole they jumped the shark on the going woke thing and supporting pride parades or a bunch of woke shit they found out that they were supporting. I don't even know. I didn't look into it. It didn't turn my crank that much to give a shit about. But it was some social justice shit that they were getting into and putting a bunch of money into, and their community lost their mind about it, and their customer base, and then they rolled it back. They said no, we won't be doing that. I don't know. It's not. I just don't think that's the place for them. For any company, really. Like, why? Why? Uh, Something I saw in that article about the vending machines, and you see it all the time, and I'm just wondering how long we have to do it. Um, X, formerly known as Twitter. How long do we need to say that? Is that their new name? Did Elon Musk go from Twitter, a really easy name to say, to X, but inadvertently he changed the name of the service to X, formerly known as Twitter? Um, how long has it been? How long has it been since Jim says he saw a pizza vending machine? Did it make it fresh? Like, there's automated machines that'll make you a pizza. I don't think that would be horrible. As long as they can program it right and it's got the right type of oven set to the right temperature and the right ingredients. John says I just can't get used to X. I just call it Twitter. Like, if you call it Twitter, everybody knows what you're talking about. If you say I saw it on X, people are like, "What?" Jim says it was in a New York City hotel. That's a tough proving ground for pizza vending machine. I mean, they could have gone to like fucking Memphis or someplace where the pizza sucks. Like, even popping a turd out of the thing would probably be an improvement on what you could get. Jim says he calls it Twix. I don't know. Like, how long do we have to say X, formerly known as Twitter, or how long? How long before we could just go back to calling it Twitter? How long before Musk is like, well, let's just call it Twitter? Jim says it was Domino's branded. Oh, God. Of course they can make it in a vending machine. Pizza Hut, Domino's, Little Caesars, all of them. Pre-made assembly line, throw it through the roller oven, and it like, I could probably manage to engineer that into a vending machine. Really. Not impressed until I taste it. Get one here. Can we get one here in Saltillo? We can put it in at Willie's One Stop down at the corner of 69 and River Road. Oh wait, they're probably not going to want a pizza vending machine outside since they sell Hunt Brothers pizza inside. Made to order. It wasn't horrible. That was the pizza we got for Walter's last pizza dinner that night. It was the only thing available, and it wasn't horrible. I would never go spend money on it again since I know Charlie's is like 20 minutes away. But yeah, pizza vending machine. Maybe we should talk about pizza vending machines on X, formerly known as Twitter. What a cesspool that place is, too. Anyway, that's about it. That's all I got for today. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to be doing video editing all day. John Palmer says that would probably be better than made by the humans in Domino's. I mean, you're picking up what I'm laying down. DiGiorno. It's not frozen. It's not the delivery. It's DiGiorno. You couldn't tell the difference. Somebody came up with a frozen reheatable pizza that's just as good as the frozen reheatable ingredients that they put together and make a pizza at a fast food place. Yeah, trying to decide if I'm gonna stick around. It's supposed to be rainy today. I think this is the weather we're getting from Burl. I think today we're getting rain. It is what it is. Jim says I didn't have to leave the floor. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna get out of here and get some shit done today. We'll definitely circle back and talk about things tomorrow. I appreciate everybody listening. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit that like and share and subscribe. If you're listening on the audio feed, give it a share. Tell a friend. Send it to somebody that you think would use a laugh. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers. Hitting me over on Noster with a big old zappity zap zap zap, or on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. You can visit thelostproject.com or comfortroots.com for more information about me, all my links, partner companies, affiliate codes, discount codes, and the such. It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. We tried to get tacos last night, and the place was closed randomly with a handwritten sign on the door. Hopefully they're open today because it's Taco Tuesday, and I didn't get my tacos. I didn't get my tacos last night, so I'm going to want them tonight. Come on, El Portillo, do better. Do better. Taco Mondays. We are there. Taco Mondays. You were closed. Have a great day, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. Get shit done, and we'll wrap up and catch you tomorrow.
I can see the light. I can feel the sun.